Good afternoon, everyone. It's a Monday. We're expecting a lovely bit of rain. Don't know if you can hear that. That's either thunder or the Canlahan volcano on a rumble. I hope you're not picking that music up in the background. So I'm having a little walk. It's a Monday afternoon. Yesterday at the plaza. Well, I was actually sat in the plaza yesterday, Sunday, and I'm just sat there trying to make a few short videos, or just sat waiting, and 4 or 5, actually at first it were a guy, and as I remember what the guy said is, let me think what the words was, just a moment. Anyway, I'm sure I'll remember. So this guy came chatting to me, and you know, he had something to say, and I've seen him before in the plaza actually. Now, there's a load of Bible bashers, and they always come in the plaza, but I haven't seen the Bible bashers for, it must be 6 months or so, I'm sure at least. But one time I saw him in our place here about 3 months ago, I'm sure, 2 or 3 months ago, and that's probably why they're going into the different barangays, and you know, they normally ask for a donation, and you know, they chat to you, and then they start to preach God. So I don't know if that's the correct word, so whether it preach about God, but you know, they start to tell you about God, you know, and we've heard it all before, haven't we? Quite a lot of times. And this lady, you know, quite a nice young lady, and well, so it seems, you know. Afternoon. Let me just move because there's a motorbike. So I'll chat when the oi. She's gone. So they're probably from the chicken factory. So these guys are probably from the chicken farm, chicken factory, chicken farm. So I'm chatting to these girls, ladies, and you know, she said, God loves you, sir. Well, it's nice someone does. You know, God loves you, sir. And she started to, you know, she had a Bible, and she's in Bible. And she's chatting about different things in the Bible. And she said to me, well, it looks like someone's having a good afternoon. So they're in a good giddy mood. So she starts to tell me, you know, God loves you, and you know, she starts to chat to me, and she said to me, where will you go when you die, sir? I says, I don't know. I says, maybe when I die, I'll probably go into the forest and roam around the forest because I love the nature, you know, the beauty of the nature. So that's where I'd like to go, you know, not thinking about it. And, you know, that's basically, I actually love, you know, I love to walk in the forest, I love to walk in the woods, I love the nature. So that were my answer. Really? I said, yep, that's where I'd like to go. Would you like to ask me, sir, where I'd like to go? I said, where would you like to go? She said, I'd like to go to heaven. So, you know, it's something I actually never ever think about going to heaven. It just never crosses my mind. And, you know, I'm not even sure if I'm going to go up or if I'm going to go down. You know, honestly, I haven't got a clue which way I'm going to go. So I'll stop here because it's very sludgy. So I haven't got a, you know, I don't know where I'm going to go. And Anyway, I'm chatting to some of these ladies, and I could see one or two of them, you know, they were. And I thought, well, if you're actually bored, you can go away or you can sit down. And she was there quite a long time, one of the ladies with the Bible chatting to me. And, you know, it was quite a long chat about a lot of different things. Now, I actually think a lot of crazy people go to church. And what I said to the lady was, you know, just because I actually don't go to church, that doesn't mean you're a bad person. And I actually know, and I said to the lady, I actually know there's a lot of bad people and a lot of crazy people that actually go to church. And they've got double standards. Don't get me wrong, there is a lot of very nice, very, very nice people that go to church. Very honest, nice people that go to church. And, you know, we're all sinners here. So, we're all sinners here, and we went all through that. And I asked her a question. I said, do you believe in ghosts? And she went, ghosts? No. You see, she's in her 20s. She's in her 20s, this lady. And she didn't believe in ghosts. And I said, well, I've actually seen two, but that was dismissed, you know. And I actually do find this, you know, they have their own beliefs, don't they? And I think a lot of them are brainwashed. And I surely do think a lot of them are brainwashed. And because it says in the Bible, whatever it says in the Bible, to a T, they follow that, but actually they don't. They all, I don't know why she's going. Ah, there's a lorry. That's why she's going, look. She's off. You'll see my dog. If a lorry comes, if a stranger comes, she's off. She doesn't like the lorry. She's quite timid and she just don't like the lorries. And strange people, she doesn't like them. Maybe she should start going to church. Lexi goes to church. I can see her now, look, she's just gone in, so that's why this lorry's coming. So let me try and find a safe spot. And I can hear the music blaring out, so I always forget where I am. Right, I think I should be safe. I don't think there's any snakes down there, but when it gets close, I'll actually move. So, you know, I said, well, I've actually seen two ghosts, but she dismissed that. And you know, what I actually find, let this lorry pass. Hello! So that's the lorry. So like I said, dog, she's running. As soon as she sees a lorry, she runs away. She's really timid. She's friendly, but if she doesn't know you, she don't trust anyone. And maybe she's got a good attitude. Where the other one's stupid. You know, she's soft as a brush and she'll go to anyone, and that could be her demise. Trusting people. Right, just a moment. Right, so, you know, I thought it'd be peaceful and I could chat. So, you know, the angels in the plaza, you know, like I said, what I actually find as well about church people, and the ladies in the plaza, right, you see, they don't know who you are, do they? And she said to me, I'm sure I've seen you on YouTube. I said, yeah, you've seen me on YouTube, I'm sure. And what I actually said to the lady, look guys, all this church, and you're going and you're preaching about your church, and there's so many different churches here in the Philippines. This one believes that one believes something different, this one believes something different. You know, they all have their own belief, and like I said, you have to open your mind up. Okay, I mean, if you're into a Bible, you've let, you know, you've let Jesus into your heart. So you've let Jesus into your heart and you love Jesus. That's absolutely splendid, you know, and it's nice and it's lovely, but you think you're going to go to heaven, and I'm not quite sure yet, and maybe I'm not actually ready to let Jesus into my heart. Will I ever be? I don't know, and I've just got things to do, you know, and I started to chat about life, and I mean real life. You know, well, what do you want? You know, I started to say, what do you want to do? And we got round to me, and I said to, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? She said, I want to be a teacher. And, you know, 4-year-olds, you know, younger ones, she wanted to teach young kids. And I thought, oh, well, that's very nice. I said, it's a good pay, it's a good money. And not thinking, you know, listen, right, for you to be able to follow your dreams, for you to be able to buy some rice tomorrow, for you to be able to have a cup of coffee tomorrow, you need money, right? So you need money. And if you're damn poor and you've got no money and you're struggling, this is something else with church I don't like. You know, I don't like with a lot of you guys in the church. You're sort of like, you'll come and, you know, you dress properly. This, like I said, some lovely people go to church. You know, you dress prim and you dress properly. You have a shirt on or you have a dress on, and it's all smiles, and then it's God loves you, and then it's, you know, can you give us something? In other words, can you give us a donation, right? And if we've got the money, we will give a donation, but we don't have the money, so we don't give a donation. But when we do go to church, and we have been to church, we give donations. And with me being a YouTuber, that's in my plan. You don't know this because you don't get time. You're not really interested in finding out who you're actually speaking to. And, you know, one day when I actually become bigger and wealthy and rich, and I'm quite wealthy, that's what I want to do, support people, give big donations, help people, and that's what I want to do. That's one of the things I want to do, and the power of YouTube will do that for me. And I also want to travel the world and have a better life, whether God's with me or not, right? Whether God's with me or not, we need this money to do so. And, you know, these girls, when they walked away, I thought, oh, they're quite nice girls. Now, earlier on I said, you know, they dress prim and proper. And this is something I actually find. You know, they'll walk away and some of them will pull you to bits. Oh, that guy's always on about money. Oh, that guy's this, that guy's that. And you know, I'm sure if I actually gave you a peso, I'm sure you'd actually would, you know, if somebody gave me a peso, a dollar, if somebody sent me a peso or a dollar, I'm very thankful for that. But I know for a fact a lot of you that go to church, you know, if you get a peso, a centano, or a dollar, you know, I'm damn sure oh, that guy, he only gave us a dollar, and you're a joke now and a laugh. So, you know, you reckon to be this kind of person who's into God, and, you know, you try to preach God, and we're all sinners here. You've got it. We are all sinners here. So you preach God. But, you know, a lot of you people are the worst people. You know, you go to church and you think if you give a big donate, a poor person goes to church, he gives a peso. Right. And that peso's a lot of money for that guy. You know, he gave a peso. God bless him or God bless her, you know. And then somebody goes into church and they give 20,000 pesos, and that person is blessed. I'm blessed because I gave 20,000. No, you're not blessed because you gave 20,000. You're no more blessed than the guy that gives 1 peso, right? In my opinion. And, you know, the more you give, the more blessings you'll get. You're actually being brainwashed. You know, in my opinion, don't get me wrong, very lot of smart people that go to church, lot of intelligent people that go to church. I'm sure I'm going to get some bad comments on this, you know, chatting about this subject, churches. And I have actually been to quite a few churches in the Philippines. And I actually went to one church, and I know it's got an initial to this church. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, good afternoon.
Yay.
Right, so, you know, I actually went to this church. I was actually going into Le Carleta. So I was going to Le Carleta on bike, me and Joveline. And I stopped, I said, wow, look at this church. Because I've done quite a lot of church videos. And, you know, I stopped at the side of the road. And there were 2 girls in the teens, you know, in the teens, early 20s. I went, hi, good afternoon. I said, can I come in and do a video on the church? Can I just take a video and a picture? Oh, I don't know, you have to wait there. I'm on main road. You'll have to wait there, sir. I thought, I have to wait there, I'm on main road. Well, what do I have to wait here for when I'm on main road? I'm just going to do a video anyway. And next minute, this guy comes marching out. And he's got 2 or 3 outside of him, and they come marching out. Really abrupt and really strict. And I thought, oh, what are you doing? You cannot take a video of our church. I will call the police. I thought, wow, this is a pastor. Wow, is this guy crazy? And it's a blue church. We aspire. And I might chat about this topic another time. And I thought, wow, this guy's supposed to be a man of God. And it just goes to show a man of God my arse, you know. And that's what I think about a lot of people that go to church. I think they're crazy. And I've met a lot of people that go to church, and they're not very nice people. And I've met a lot of people that go to church, and they're absolutely lovely people. I've known them for a while. We're all sinners, we're not perfect. And it's good to believe in God. It's good to believe in good things. And good beats evil, right? So it's good. But, you know, a lot of these people, you know, they've got their own strict rules. Now, if I go into Murcia now, and I go to the Catholic Church, and I can walk in the Catholic Church, I can take pictures of the statues, the architecture, beautiful building, a church, and, you know, I can do a video, and no one bats an eyelid, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, and you're allowed to do that. And you stand outside on a road, and you just want to, you know, run your camera up and down a lovely looking church, and Gestapo come out, and it's a big problem, and they're phoning police. And this was a couple of years ago, as I remember. And, you know, so I think a lot of crazy people go to church. And, you know, even if you're a very, very, very poor person, you have rules where you have to go to church and you have to give, right? Now, I think that's fine to donate to a church. If you want to donate a peso, a dollar to a church, you know, 1,000 pesos, 500 pesos, that's fine to do that. But, you know, when I've actually been in Murcia, the Bible bashers come along. And like I said, I'm sure some of these guys are really nice girls and guys. I'm sure these guys are nice people. And, you know, they'll stick a leaflet in your hand. and you'll start to chat, oh, just read it, then they're gone. Or they'll come up and they'll say, can you give a donation? And they've changed the word now, they've changed the tactics. And can you give something? Well, not really, because I ain't got nothing to give, and it's as simple as that. And to be honest, you're not really interested in me, and you're not really interested in him, and you're not interested in her, unless they're giving you some money, right? That's my opinion with some of the churches. Like I said, a lot of the other churches, it is entirely up to you whether you give a donation or not. You know, and if you believe in God, if you believe in Jesus, right, he was crucified and he died for you and he loves you. Fantastic. But listen, at this time and moment, I'm just like a normal poor person here in the Philippines, in England. I haven't got a book, I haven't got $1, so please like, please subscribe. Please help support the channel, and please help support in the way of $1. Very much appreciated. And you guys that actually do support me, thanks a lot. And I tried to message some of you last week. I was going on and off. It's really bad connection here now. Don't know if it's because we're in typhoon weather. So hopefully I can upload this video. So basically, you know, it's they want a donation, and I actually think, like I said, it's good to donate to the church. But I also think, right, you're a poor person, you haven't got no money, and you say, well, I've got no money in the... Really? You know, they think we've got money, don't everybody's got money. And